you, yeah. fly, nigga, I don't follow all these rules, yeah. Bitch, I'm making tunes, I ain't missing, I won't lose. Let's go to an island where the water around is blue, blue, blue. I got 2 bad bitches in the coop, coop, coop. 42 in the bottle, glasses on full too. Ain't no games, I ain't playing, I want you, yeah. Take a trip, let's go shopping, I got blues, yeah. We got options you can choose. Yeah, you want it, I can buy it, ain't no rules, yeah. I'm just saying, let me help you upgrade you, yeah. Fuck that nigga, he don't care about you, yeah. Girl, move on. He can't treat you like I do, my money too long. I got homies for your friends and we can group on. We are early, hit our shot like Curry, bitch, I
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to more trades. So I got over here Bitcoin, and on the left is the S&P 500 because they're kind of correlated. So I want to look at them side by side and to see how do they behave. So it looks like the S&P does the moves first. The S&P leads, Bitcoin follows. Now, depending on what the S&P does today, Bitcoin's gonna be following through. We look at the news. We have, what do you call it? In the news today, we have the CB consumer confidence coming out. Is that today? Where is that? Yeah, CB consumer confidence in about 10-15 minutes. If actual is greater than the forecast, that's good for the currency, good for the dollar, bad for Bitcoin. It's financial confidence. Financial confidence is a leading indicator of consumer spending because it tells you the consumer is spending more if they're more confident, which accounts for a majority of overall economic activity. Survey of about 3,000 households which ask respondents to rate the relative level of current and future economic conditions, including labor availability, business conditions, and overall economic situation. So what is Bitcoin going to be doing today? The S&P 500 is leading, is going for that zone at the bottom, this liquidity. Bitcoin having a delayed response, but I expect Bitcoin to at least come to the 26,750 or even lower. Let's see how Bitcoin reacts now. S&P 500. There you go. Is it gonna pump? Wow. Wow. It's wicking the lows. It's triggering longs. Trying to fool people into going longs. I think it's gonna release further. Let's see if it will do it. We're pulling back up in the S&P. Bitcoin hasn't had that move yet. Let's look at the Nasdaq. What is the Nasdaq doing today? The Nasdaq on the 15-minute. That's a big candle to the downside. You might recover it. Next zone for the Nasdaq of interest is 12,483. Dow Jones. Dow Jones is it could be leading. Look at this move by the Dow Jones. So you might see the Nasdaq and the S&P go and Bitcoin going up. Let's see the Nasdaq. Yeah, it could be following through. Bitcoin on the other hand will react. Could we see the 28K zone again today? Now we're gonna look at that. And we're going to see what are the possibilities for that today. Bitty, what is Bitty going to do? I'm going to switch off those indicators, and we are in a range over here. Bitcoin is stuck in another range, but I believe we're not going to stay here for long. I think there's going to be a breakout or breakdown, break up, melt up or breakdown from here. We haven't defined the range perfectly yet, but I think there's going to be a breakout. This is our range. We want to see, is Bitcoin going to get above 27,300 or are we going to go below 26,600? That is the only thing that matters now. Is Bitcoin going to go above 27.3 or are we going to stay below 26.6? Because we still have this zone, the 27.355 or 27.360, which is the bottom of this range that we were in before. And I think the value area low is, okay, the value area low of this upper range is in this box, which you can see we're finding resistance at. So is Bitcoin going to be able to break that? Let's look at some indicators. Let's look at the CVD indicator. CVD relatively flat. We are pushing down. So it's telling you majority of people were trying to push it down. But price relatively hasn't formed. We formed a lower low in the CVD. Price formed a higher low. Divergence, hidden bullish divergence on CVD. We might be seeing a pump incoming. Because that shows you the majority of people are going short, but price is refusing to make a new low. Now, if you go to the RSI, remember I was looking at the RSI yesterday, And I was saying we might be forming hidden bullish divergence. I think we erased that. We did not confirm that. Unless we go to the line chart. I think we're looking at this compared to that. I'm not sure. This is a higher low. Price formed a lower low. That is hidden bullish divergence. Again, the RSI has hidden bullish divergence. We're only waiting for a continuation. See, we have higher low on the 4-hourly and lower low. That is hidden bullish divergence. Hidden bullish divergence is a continuation. So we are supposed to see a move to the upside to retest resistance if we're going to break it again. Now, MFI money flow index on the higher time frame shows money leaving. We are making lower lows on money flow index, but that's showing divergence also. But MFI is showing money leaving on the 1 hourly and the 4 hourly. 1 hourly, maybe we're seeing some money coming in, but on the higher time frame, 4 hourly, money coming out. Daily has been showing money has been coming into crypto since the 9th until the 24th of March. But now we're having money leaving out of crypto. You don't want to see that. You want to see money continuously coming into crypto. That what we need now, if we want price to go up, you really need money coming in to crypto. Today is essentially yesterday was the first day of the markets opening, but today all the traders are settled. It's Tuesday, so today everyone's fresh and running. So today might give us the trend for the rest of the week. It is very possible. But we have the consumer confidence coming in about 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, we're going to have the consumer confidence coming in. On the other hand, we had Bank of Japan core CPI is lower than forecasted. That is bad for currency, bad for the Japanese yen. So what does that tell us? How is that related to Bitcoin? That will tell you that the DXY must be pushing up because the JPY, the Japanese yen, is going down. So the dollar index will go up. And if dollar index goes up, the markets will go down. But you also had some news for the Euro or the UK zone. Lagarde spoke today. ECB President Lagarde, she spoke today. BRS Innovation Hub, Eurosystem Center. I doubt that would have any impact on the market. It's nothing got to do with interest rates or any of that. So let's see how Bitcoin reacts over here. Anyways, what is that? The price of Bitcoin is holding within this range. No one can really make sense of where it's going to go. I see Bitcoin as long as we are Excuse me, I feel I'm getting a cold. As long as we are below the 50 EMA, 5 and 13 are crossing down. So let me try and adjust this. Maybe I can change the settings for this. There we go. So as you can see over here, the red one has crossed and the yellow one have crossed the blue one. That is a 5 and 13 crossing. That is bearish. Now, as long as we remain below the 50 and we cannot reclaim it, that is bearish. This is on the 4 hourly. On the hourly, how are we looking? We are getting rejected from the 50. This line over here is our 50. And as you can see, we're not able to go above the 50, but that may change. What we like to see is the yellow and the red cross over and go up. I want to go to basics, basic trading strategy that I use. I used to talk about it before when I started streaming, and I'm gonna put it out again, and let's see, can we play it this way today? EMAs are a preference, what you like to use, what you feel works for you. So now, my strategy would tell me over here, the 5 and 13 have crossed. You see this over here, the yellow and the red have crossed. My MACD crossed earlier and it's curving up, and my stochastics have just crossed and it's trying to point up. You saw that movement? We're trying to go up. So this is on the 15 minute. That would tell me to go long. How high? That's another question, but that is at least a scalp long. So when I saw this, if I saw this and I got the confirmation at the same time, but the confirmation came later, so I have one cross. My second confirmation came now with my third. So the EMAs and the stochastic more or less crossed around the same time. So that is my confirmation. See that? That is a cross, but it's just happening. I mean, it can change within minutes or seconds or whatever. So yeah, now that is a scalp long signal. That is what I teach. You could scalp it long, but you have to have a tolerance for risk, for pullbacks, for drawdowns. Where could we go if we pump? If we pump, then you need to be aware that you're pumping into the EMA cloud of the you're pumping into the 50 EMA cloud. Now, as long as you're below it, it's resistance. You try to break out, you came. Now, what I suspect is Bitcoin is going to do this for a bit. We might stay here a bit if we don't just move out. Just curl up, bring that ATR down, bring the RSI, cool the RSI a bit, and then we come up, retest the 50 EMA, a bit stay above it, then we could move out. That's how Bitcoin can move out if it's going to move out. Then you'll have to watch the 200 and 800 EMA coming here as resistance on the 15 minute. So it's very possible for Bitcoin to go up, but when I look at this, 26.7 is closer than 27.3 to me, and this is a zone of liquidity. And we have this wick down at around 26.480. We formed this wick yesterday. I would like Bitcoin to come and recover this quickly, range a bit, then blast off, rather than leave this wick for later on. Because you see, we do come back for the wicks. We have this wick over here, we have that other wick, we have two wicks. We have this over here, and we have this wick over here. So what you like to see is Bitcoin recover the wick sooner and then leave the range. Now going to the bigger assets like the S&P 500 and all that, what is the ES doing today? We're still above the range. We didn't break down into that descending trend line. Over here, you see the descending trend line? We didn't break down into it. Okay, now the S&P 500 is holding above on the daily. On the 4-hourly, the S&P 500 is still holding. On the hourly, we are also holding on the 1 hour, but we're losing it. See, if you start losing it on the 1 hour, then you could see yourself coming down to recover this vector 3965 for the S&P 500. That would match with Bitcoin coming down to this zone, possibly 25.7 to 25.8. Can Bitcoin go there today? What is this descending trend line that I have? Oh yeah, we are in some sort of wedge channel. Bitcoin is traveling in some sort of a wedge. On higher time frames, on the hourly, MACD is sort of losing momentum. Stokes is trying to cross down. 4-hourly, we have MACD vomiting downwards. But if these bars do not see, the bar is becoming it was red, now it changed color. That's telling you momentum may be shifting. So we might be seeing this on the MACD happening shortly. And then you get the crossover and the bars shift from less red and they become green. Stochastic is crossing to the downside. Well, stochastic is at the lows, so at the lows you would expect a move up, but we could be at the lows for a long time or at the highs for a long time. See, we could be there from the 11th of March for 3 days. We were up here. We could be there for longer. So it's not a measure of when you're gonna bounce immediately. You just need to keep your eye on it. Watch your lower time frames, because the move starts in the lower time frames. So your move will start on the lower time frames. If you see, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm on the 15-minute now. On the 15-minute, I am below the 50 EMA, so there is nothing for me to be bullish about. That's for starters. Once I claim the 50 EMA, you can even start from the 1 minute if you want. On the 1 minute, you might be claiming it now. So if you're claiming it on the 1 minute, then you shift your eyes to the 5 minute. See, this is when you say, I'm not above the 50 EMA cloud even on the 1 minute. So nothing bullish. You may get above it, but you see you're breaking down. You want to see this. You come up and you start impulsing upwards. So once you get above the 50 EMA on the 1 minute, then you're waiting for it to happen on the 5 minute. Or you could jump straight to the 15 minute. I'm waiting for the 15 minute. Once I start claiming it on the 15 minute and I see a green candle on top, I'm going long and I'm waiting for further confirmation on the 1 hour. Where am I in the hour? On the hour, I'm still below the 50. So I would expect if I take the trade from the 15 minute now, I could come to this zone where I have the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA having a death cross. I would expect a rejection for Bitcoin 27,277 on the 1 hour. So what I'm saying is I could take a long on the 15 minute, but I'm aware that at around 27,277, I have a bearish death cross and I have the EMA cloud, which could play as resistance. Now, example, if I'm a long, once I get here and I don't see any signs of weakness or rejection, then I'm comfortable with my long. Okay, Bitcoin reclaims support. What is my next zone of resistance? My trend lines, my fixed range volume profile, point of control, my 4-hourly EMA, which would come down at I don't have any 4-hour EMAs above me. I have the 50, but it's at 27,277, same as the hourly. Now if I get above it, then I'm like, wow. But remember the pattern I always tell you guys about. If you've been watching my channel, you see this red candle. Now I'll switch off indicators so you see it clearly. I've been telling you that this pattern plays out over and over again. Don't be fooled. You see this? We come down, Bart out, or Bart Simpson out, maybe form some sort of a double bottom over here. Look at that. You could say this one or this one. And if you go on the 15-minute time frame, you'll see what I'm talking about. I've been talking about this lately. I say we always do this. You see this in the chart. We come down aggressively. If you look at the 1 hour, it's just one big candle. Then you do some sort of a swing failure. Then you start ranging over here. But this range, I don't like it because it's going downwards. Usually you start creeping upwards this way. You start creeping this way. Nevertheless, you formed another leg. I would expect now for it to start creeping up and possibly continue to recover this big drop. So don't get caught with your pants down. Don't get caught off guard. You know what's going to happen. You know the deal. You know we could pump, we could dump. You need to be prepared for both scenarios. How are you going to prepare for a pump? Okay, I know that this touch was a long. Should I enter a long now and keep my stops below the wick? I could do that. Or should I wait for a third touch? What am I doing? Now you could do it like this. Quick, pull a trend line. As long as this trend is holding, then I'm looking for upside. This is my trend. If I come down, retest it, then I'll say God bless me with another entry. But for now, for me, I'm not entering a long. It's a very good zone to enter a long. I believe yesterday 26,450 was a beautiful zone for a long. I was at a long from 27.3. I got stopped out at the move down yesterday. So we're moving forward. Bitcoin. Let's go on the hourly. Did we form a shift in trend? We formed a shift in trend when we broke down over here. We started forming lower highs and eventually a lower low. Now, did we change the trend? Are we forming higher lows? See, we had this trend moving up and it failed. It was just another bear flag. Well, not really a bear flag, but yeah, it failed. Now you have another trend. Will it hold or will it fail? We don't know. Is it time yet? Oh, it's been announced already. Consumer confidence, 5 p.m. I think it's been announced already. Yeah, 6 minutes. I missed it. If it's positive for the dollar, yeah, it's positive for the dollar. 104 is higher than forecasted. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So that could help the DXY pump and it could affect the assets. But it's been 5 minutes. We didn't see the reaction. Maybe market is digesting it, or did they price it in before it came out? But it came out way higher than forecasted. 101 was a forecast. 104.2 is what it came out at. The last time we why could I see previous history? It usually shows me previous history. Okay. Oh, there you go. I have to look here and maybe click over here. Let's take a quick look at the dollar while this loads up. The dollar is attempting to make a move up. It could come and recover this gap. The dollar really needs to push up if Bitcoin is going to be bearish. As long as the dollar is tanking. I pointed this out yesterday also. The dollar could be in a big double bottom. we could be done over here. We had a low, we had a higher low, nice double bottom, and we flush out. Now how high could we go? If this is just an asset that I'll trade, if this was the low, then I'll do this and bring it out to the breakout of the double bottom over here. We could get to the 109.5. That is very bullish for the dollar. Now, unfortunately, I don't have that data. I wanted to see what have we got previously and how did Bitcoin react when we did that. What date? Let's go to last month, 27th of February or 28th of February. Here, consumer confidence was forecasted 108 and we got a 102. So this was bad for the dollar, way lower than forecasted. And it dropped so much from previous 106 to 102. Now today, we increased, but not significantly, but much higher than anticipated. The last time we did that was at 28th of February. So what did Bitcoin do on 28th of February when we got that forecast? When we got a low forecast, that would be good for Bitcoin. 28th of February would be somewhere here. We barely got any moves over here. This was the 28th of February. And then after that we dumped. So nothing much on Bitcoin. Seems like it's not really a market mover. The last time the dollar got that bad consumer confidence data, we were here. And we just moved down, moved up and continued lower. So nothing much. I don't expect much from the reading then. I won't give it much credit. Now going back to Bitcoin, 26,981. Interesting zone. Just mark out your range. Know where you have your wicks. You have a wick at 26,480. And whenever you have a big candle, then expect that zone that it might be recovered. You go on the hourly and you look for big zones where you had a big green or big red candle and anticipate it being recovered. This zone over here, $25,287. It starts at 25,495 until 25,167. So this zone over here is a zone of interest. If we get down there, I mentioned yesterday 25k is possible. Don't put it out of the picture. 26k will be the bottom of this channel. Value area low 25,933. So I'll just keep an eye on this. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I did a video earlier on Solana Quant. Next zone for Quant is 114 if we continue lower. If we come up, it's a 121. We know the zones, I've given them so long ago. 114, it's been there for months. Upside 131, but we know the 120, 121. This zone is a zone of interest. Going left, you see this consolidation, bounce off, consolidation, resistance. I mean, it's a zone of interest, the 121. Now, since we broke back into this channel for Quant, I won't say it's overly bearish, but this was your breakout. You're supposed to continue from here, but you're failing and you're breaking into the range again. And if I break into a range, then I would expect to come at least test the mid of the range, or even come lower, depending on when I hit this lower trend line. Like even if I take a fixed range volume profile, probably I lost the value area high for this range, and I'm coming to the POC. I'm below the POC. I'm at the value area low. I'm bouncing off it. So maybe that's a bullish thing. This is on the hourly. But we've been in and out of this range several times. This is the daily. This range was established on the 25th of January. We broke out of this range on the 17th of March. So it's a few months range. What you want to see is a breakout and a continuation. It was looking good at the beginning. It looked like a bull flag and you would expect a continuation, but now it's not looking that good anymore. Markets are pushing up, yeah. Ethereum pushing back up. This shape over here, this pattern is like what Bitcoin was looking like and kind of broke down. Look at this pattern that looks like a diamond pattern. Bitcoin broke down. Ethereum is still holding up in that formation. Bitcoin could be leading. Ethereum might follow through now and break down from this formation and come to this value area high over here at around 1605. Thing is, you have this strong support over here for Ethereum, 1718. This zone. Actually, it's a 1680. It's a very strong zone. I can't help but notice this formation over here. It looks like what Bitcoin did, but it looks more like what Bitcoin did over here at the top. So look at this formation in Ethereum, and it followed through to the downside. Now Bitcoin over here, we have this formation, but it's not like Ethereum. So Ethereum is slightly difficult. That formation in Ethereum looks like Bitcoin at the highs over here on the 4-hourly. Look at that. How does this pattern repeat itself almost so accurately? Look at that. And then you go to Ethereum on the daily and you look at it over here. Let's look at Ethereum on the hourly and see the top. How does it look? You see this pattern on Ethereum? It doesn't look like what Bitcoin is doing. Somewhat looks the same, but Bitcoin is more perfectly formed. But that pattern eerily similar to Bitcoin's, somewhere around here. Solana, people love Solana. A lot of people love Solana. People have bags of Solana. People are trading Solana. People maybe bank their houses on Solana. Solana may go up. I was saying in my video earlier that I have only two targets, major targets for Solana, because I'm tired of this crappy movement back and forth since February. We didn't come, actually not this target. Main targets I would like to see. I'm tired of this range. This is just a range we've had since, when was this? 14th of January. Till now in March, we're just in a big range. Look at that. Deviated from the range, got accepted, struggling to get back into the range. So the low of the range is at 19.8. The high of the range is around 25.667. I want this range to break, either to go to 39 or to come down to the $5 to $7 zone. You see that $5 to $7 zone? If you've been following me for a long time, you know I had this for a long time. I had it, in fact, on another chart marked out, but I marked it on this chart because that's the Binance USDT chart that I like to look at. But I had it over here, and I had this channel that we broke out from. Obviously, let's go on the daily. I can delete this channel. I don't like this channel. Why is it showing me a delete button? There. Okay. And basically, if this was a 1-2, you're expecting a 3. Let's see how far did we retrace from the bottom over here. The thing is with Solana, I gave some dead on targets before they hit. I remember talking about that $8 to $9 zone before it hit. Now Solana came down to the 0.5. That is acceptable for even a B wave or wave 2. We came slightly lower. So that is acceptable. So you could expect that you are forming another 1 and a 2 and you're going to blast off. But this really looks like a 3 wave. This is on the daily. If we go on the hourly, maybe we can see something else. Over here, we could say we could move up. I mean, it's not impossible. If you take a fib retracement from the low, again, a 0.5 retracement, Yeah, a bit more than a 0.5 retracement. So I could tell you, I could see Solana do this short term in the micro count from the low to the high, pull back to this low. Yeah, you could come to the 1-to-1 27 or the 32. So both zones are of interest for me. The 27 and 32. Then after that, I would expect another pullback. Now, does Solana look impulsive here to the downside? This looks impulsive. Pull back, pull some volume. Look at the move. Is it volume supported? Move down is coming with volume support. Move down, volume increased. Move up, volume increased. So I'm getting mixed signals over here. But all in all, volume, you could see your volume has been going down, down, down for Solana, as price has been moving up. Or if you look at the highs, we've been making higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, but Solana has been doing lower highs. The volume has been doing lower highs. Oh, that looks like a wedge. That's a bearish pattern. Broadening, rising wedge. You wouldn't want Solana to fall out of this. Trust me. We had a touch here. We didn't have a follow through. What I like to see is consecutive touches. A touch, one here, then here. So it might not really be a rising wedge, but it is a rising something, which rising somethings usually break to the upside, downside. A rising channel or a rising wedge like that, and your touches start over here. What is this even? I can't even understand. What is this? Looks like a reverse triangle or some sort of a wedge. But if you break down, the measured move is just the widest part of the mouth and roughly could take you to zero. Solana coming down again to the $12 zone. Remember, I gave that in my video. I think I told you the 11.998. If you watched my video today, I mentioned 11.99. Why 11.99? I have my value area low somewhere in it around that range. 11.99 there. 13. Oh, that's 12. 10. Why don't I have my 11.99? Okay, somewhere there. Anyways, you have this small consolidation of support if you lose all of these supports. This was a nice move up, very clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you could say that all was a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, and then you had a 4 and a 5. So taking some trend-based fib, you say 1 ended over here. The wave 2 is very small compared to 1. But let's say it did that. Your wave 3 would come to the 1.618 or 1-to-1. There, you got it. 1-to-1. Now, your wave 3 started over here. So I'll get rid of this now. And let's measure the wave 4, presumed wave 4 over here with a fib retracement and see how low did we come. 0.5. Perfect. So Solana was giving us a perfect move up. 0.5. Now how do I measure the wave 5? The wave 5, length of wave 3 down to wave 4. You want to see the 0.618 at least. You hit it almost perfectly again and again and again. Okay, wave 5 is over. Wave 5, I would say, could have finished over here. But the thing is with this move, this is very corrective. Very WXY-ish. You have a lot of corrections to the upside. Maybe wave 3. After we completed wave 3, maybe we had a shooting wave B, expanded B pocket, and we're having these corrections in the wave B. Then we had our C. So how far should C go? At least you would like to see the 1-to-1 from the wave A bottom. So go all the way up, and you see how low did we come? A bit more than the 1-to-1. So that was my wave C, and I would say possibly my wave 5 ended up over here at 27. Now after my wave 5 completed, I'll say this was a big one, or either that was a big one and our 2 could come down to the 0.618 and 0.786. So our wave 2, that's what I was talking about, the 11.9. Here you go. The 11.9 is here. So the wave 2 can come down to this zone. Again, I talked about it in the video earlier, the Solana video, but I'm going more in depth over here. Between the 0.786 and the 0.5. And you have this additional line over here. I'll just draw a line over here, horizontal line on the 0.618, and then get rid of this. So this is your zone. You have 17.5, 11.9 and 15.2. that is your next zone. You hit the first target, so that is fine. You could just reverse from here and have a 1, 2, 3, but you could come as low as 11.9 and still be bullish for Solana. Now after I completed my wave 5 over here at the top, I'm expecting at least a three wave move to the downside. This could have been an A because it looks a bit impulsive. I pulled back in a B. Let me measure the height of the B from the top of the A to the bottom of the A. The B came into the 0.618. Perfect. 0.5, 0.618. Now what I'm expecting is one more leg down for Solana. I know maybe people don't like hearing it, but I'm going to give you all my targets for Solana now to the downside before we see some more upside possibly. Golden pocket comes here. I'll put it in between the 0.618 and 0.65. So you have 17. You lose a 17, you're coming to 12.7. You lose a 12.7, you're coming to 5.8. As just by looking at it, A, B, C. Now you need to look at the structure and determine, is it very ABC-ish? That's something else. DXY. What has Bitcoin done since we left? Bitcoin is just ranging. And we go to the ATR. And let's look at what the ATR did. Yesterday when we looked at the ATR on the hourly, the ATR was somewhere in the 160 zone, I believe. It was somewhere here, yeah, 162. The ATR pumped as price moved up. We ranged. And then it cooled off as price ranged over here at the high. See the ATR cooling off, coming lower, lower, lower. It cooled off. Well, it didn't get much time to cool off. We came to here, then, to here. We cooled off. The ATR cooled off, came down over here. Again, the 160 zone. And then we got the dump. ATR spiked up. Now, again, ATR might come down, cool off. Doesn't have to come to the 160, but it could before the next move. It could move up without triggering severe ATR levels. How does it do that? It can come up in this manner. I'll show you without while the ATR is also cooling. And you could see that with the RSI. Price can move up. Candles will be closing very much. Highs and lows are close to each other. Not much of deviation from each other. And eventually you see yourself creeping up. ATR cools down. And then you get that explosion to the upside or to the downside. Just trading patterns and looking at this. This looks like a bear flag or a double bottom, but a bear flag, I would like to see it when when you have this kind of movement after a dump, you have an up movement where candles are forming to the upside, then you get a breakdown. Those are beautiful bear flags to trade. Bull flags are the opposite, same thing. Like over here, Bitcoin on our way down, we just had bear flag after bear flag after bear flag. Bear flag, dump. Bear flag, we pumped over here, sorry. Bear flag, you see that movement? We come down and then we flag out. You come down, you flag out. You could have a straight flag, I mean, it can happen, but over here we came down. I wouldn't call this really a bear flag because we really extended. Our flag is almost as long as the pole, if you know what I'm saying. We have the time it took that flag. Let's take the pole from here to here. The flag pole really exceeded the 0.618, the 3.618. I mean, it went too long before we had the breakdown. And then our breakdown it didn't give us the length of the flag. So if we take that length of this flag to the bottom over here, and then you measure it from the breakdown over here, you essentially should have seen the 12.3 zone. You haven't seen that, so flag invalidated. People expected a flag here, you didn't. You got a double bottom, and now everyone in the market is bearish. I would expect maybe a pump, but before we get that pump, I'd like to see that we went up, consolidated, barred out, and I'd like to see at least 50% recovery of this candle down to 26,147, if not the full candle down at 24.9. Bitcoin needs to come down. Doesn't need to do anything, but I mean, I would like it to come down, grab liquidity and leave. Get more buyers in. Maybe get more buyers at this zone, value area low, spike down, liquidate those buyers, stop them out, then only to continue higher. See what we did here? We came up, we dumped. Look at that pattern. On the hourly, we did almost the same thing. We did that pattern. I was telling you a few days ago, if you don't remember, if you watched my video, I was saying Bitcoin, we had a move down here, and then we had this, then we have this, and we were here. I was telling you we were right over here on the current pattern, and maybe we expect a dump, then a pump. Now I look at this over here, I can compare it to this, and then this over here, I was comparing it to this, and I was telling you we'll get a small pump, then a dump. And it happened like here, small pump and a dump, and then we formed a double bottom. That's what we're doing now, forming a double bottom. Then we might have a higher high. Now that higher high, where could it take us? This is just trying to think like an algorithm. That could take us another 18% up. Crazy, 18% from here is insane for Bitcoin. If we pump from here 18%, not very crazy because I had these targets, but that would take you up to the 31,290. 31,290 if Bitcoin does repeat the pattern, if the algorithms, the programs repeat the pattern, then Bitcoin could be seeing the 31,290. Solana could be seeing the $5 to $17 zone, 17, 12, and 5. I believe that's what I said. That's for Solana. 17, 12, 5. I'll keep these. I'll keep this on the chart. Put this down here and see wave down extension. and I'll get rid of that. I'll put a ray, horizontal ray over here at the 0.786 all the way to here, and I'll mark it off green, give it 2 pixels to look the same, actually 3. There we go, looks original. So those are my zones. I'm gonna save. Bitcoin is pulling down again. DXY is getting some reaction to the nice consumer confidence, telling you more people are spending money. That's going to be a problem for the Fed. More people spend money, the Fed will keep raising interest rate hikes. 8th of April, keep your eye on 8th of April. We have something important happening on 8th of April. 8th of April on Coinbase. Coinbase chart, 8th of April, 2.618 fib time incoming. Why is it 6th of April? I thought it's the 8th. Okay. Yeah. 6 between the 5th and 6th. That's the 6th of April, 3 p.m. My trigger line should be on the 6th of April as well. Anyhow, somewhere around there, I would expect Bitcoin to do some shenanigans. If we're going down, we might pivot up. If we're going up, we might pivot down. If we're going down, we might continue further down strongly, and the vice versa if we're going up. 8th of April on the calendar to have some confluence. Do I have anything? March 21st, I think March 21st, is that a CPI coming out? No interest rates hike, but I think March 21st, March 22nd, we're having something. Again, Fed funds rate. People expect the Fed to raise 0.25 basis points. So we'll see how it plays out. But let's go to April because I have the date. 8th of April. Oh, is it 6th of April? Oh my God. 6th of April. Nothing. Unemployment claims. Nothing major. It is a major mover, but not as big as Fed funds rate. Fed funds rate, 22nd of April. Very important. 22nd? Sorry, March. March 28th, March 22nd. Fed funds rate, March 22nd. That's it. Yeah, Fed funds rate. All right, guys, if you tuned in this far, thanks for tuning in. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, click your notifications on, and if you really like the channel, then you can support the channel from link that is in the channel description and in the video description. That's it. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for your time.